Today, we're going to break down the myth that Christian women over 40 keep telling themselves. It's too late for me. Okay? And then I want to reveal the truth that God's timing is always perfect. Have you ever looked at your own life and thought, if only I had started earlier? Maybe I'd be walking in my purpose by now. If I hadn't have made certain decisions, if I hadn't have stayed in that marriage, if I hadn't have dropped out of college or high school, or if I just had different parents, if my childhood was a little bit different, okay, just maybe, I'd be walking in my purpose by now. Let's talk about why that type of thinking, it's just not from God, sis. Okay? And then let's talk about what his word actually says. Now, just so that we are clear here, the true myth that we keep telling ourselves, and sometimes we don't say it out loud, or we say it in here, right? We constantly tell ourselves these things on the inside, right? In our minds. It has resonated in our hearts, right? And as a result is how we move in this world. So the myth here is, I've missed my chance. My best years, unfortunately, I feel like they are behind me. That's the myth. This is what we tell ourselves in secret. Okay? Now the question is, why do we believe this? Why do we believe that as we get older, our best years are behind us? Why do we believe that past mistakes has to forever change my future? Why? Why do we believe that? Okay? Well, let me give you a few examples. I think a lot of times we believe that because of the way society is shaped. Society has a tendency to glorify the youth and early success, right? Society has a way of glorifying perfect endings, okay? Perfect beginnings, perfect endings, right? So what we do is we tend to compare ourselves to others. We tend to compare ourselves to other people who we feel like who's gotten further ahead, who looks to have the full package, who looks to have it all together. And once we start comparing ourselves, what we tend to do next, what comes next is the weight. Okay? The weight of those past decisions, right? They tend to weigh on us. And then we play them like a recording, like a tape, right? Over and over again in our head. That's what the enemy does. Okay? To the point that we start thinking that those decisions that we made in our past have delayed or either disqualified us for what God has already purposed for us in our life. We tend to forget that it's a fixed fight. Yeah. We tend to forget that as a child of God, that no matter what our past decisions were, the moment we accept Christ into our lives, we hand that all over to him. Okay? And he say, I forgive you, and I throw it in the sea of forgiveness. So that means it's a fixed fight. And you already won. You just have to believe that you won. Here's what we forget. We tend to forget that God, he's not bound by our timeliness. Okay? He's not bound by our timeliness. Okay? He is not. We are. But God doesn't care. God's plan took into account your sin and mine. So that means nothing catches him by surprise. So he is able to take everything that we go through and use it to mold, to shape us, okay? To prepare us for the purpose that he has for us. Now let's talk about some truths. The truth is, God's timing is always perfect. And we got biblical evidence of that. Moses, he didn't leave the children of Israel until he was 80. What about Sarah? Come on. Sarah gave birth to her first child at 90. Look, when I tell you God's plan, it always unfolds in his timing, not ours. So I don't know who I'm speaking to. And you feel like I'm too old. I made too many past mistakes. No, that's the enemy. Because see, the enemy has gotten a glimpse of who you are when you walk in your purpose. Okay? And he is going to do any and everything that he can to prevent you from stepping into your purpose. Look at the book of Isaiah. In Isaiah 46:4, it says, I will be your God. Oh. And he didn't say just right now and in your youth. God said, I will be your God throughout your lifetime. Even when your hair is gray and you up in age. Go read it. God said, I made you and I will care for you. And not only will he care for you, he said he's going to carry us. He's going to carry us and save us and walk us through this journey of life. So that means God doesn't just use us in our youth. He doesn't just use the young. He uses the willing. Willing. So the question is, are you still willing? Yo, our age don't matter, sis. Hopefully you have wisdom. You've gained wisdom and knowledge with all of the pain that you went through, the mistakes you made. Okay? You gained wisdom and knowledge. So the question is, are you willing to let God use you with that wisdom and knowledge that he's allowed you? Okay? That he has allowed you to experience in this life that he's given you. I want to encourage you. I want to encourage you to shift your perspective. Shift your way of thinking. So instead of thinking, I'm too late, I want you to start saying, I'm right on time. I'm right on time for whatever God has planned for me. And as long as you and I are still breathing, glory to God, he's still working. Y'all, he's still working. Do you hear me? God is still working. Let me tell you something. When I was a teenage mother, and I remember dropping out of college, and because I needed to work, I was going to school during the day, working at night, never really saw the children. And I made a decision one day when I heard my baby call his grandmother, Mama. I dropped out of college because I didn't want my baby calling nobody else Mama, even though my time away was to try to better their lives. That just did something to me. I dropped out of college, cried like a baby, and then when she gave me my pink slip, okay, I never thought I would ever go back to college. I felt like I had just made another detrimental mistake in my life, okay? Not only was I 3 times a teenage mother, okay? Now I done dropped out of college, and now I'm working these penny jobs, trying to make it, okay? That's what I thought. I thought my life was over for a decade. I did nothing but live in pity, struggling, paycheck to paycheck to take care of them babies. Because in my mind, my life was over. I made my bed and I had to lay in it. Look, your past is not a setback. It's preparation. It's preparation for what's ahead. I want to encourage you today. The myth says that you missed your chance. It's done. But the truth is, God's plan for you is still unfolding. It's still unfolding. So this week, I want you to ask God, what do you want me to do with this season right now? The season that you're in right now. What do you want me to do with it, God? What should I be getting out of this season? And then I want you to take one small step forward. Just one. Don't do too much. But at least take one. I hope that you get out of this video that it's never too late to walk in your purpose. Because God is never late. He's always on time. He's an on-time God. Okay? He's an on-time God. And no matter your age, your financial situation, right? Your economic background, it doesn't matter. Okay? No matter how big or how small the mistakes you made in your past, the decisions, no matter what. Okay? It's never too late. It's never too late to walk in your purpose. Because God is an on-time God. His ways is not our ways. Okay? His timing is not our timing. So don't let the enemy rob you of your future. And for some of us, he ain't even got to rob. We just giving it to him. I gave him a decade. Okay? Don't fight. I don't know who this is for. Fight. Push. Surround yourself around people that will encourage you. Surround yourself around people that's doing more than you, so it will inspire you. Get up. Trust in the Lord. It's never too late. Hit the link to the next video. Drop me a comment. I'll see you soon. God bless.